Kristin Keefe was a proctor in ESP, and she was the legal liaison for a long time. In fact, she worked with the lawyers on all of the lawsuits.
You know, like here we're doing this, wonderful idealistic movement, and we're trying to create something, and we have created something that just produces value and enhances people's lives. And we're just minding our own business and doing this great thing, and we're just getting attacked. So I just feel determined, like, motherfucker, like, how could they do this to us? When I think of how destructive that is, I think, oh my God, that is just heinous. We're gonna uncover all these things, and then people are gonna say, don't fuck with those people because, they'll come after you. They will figure it out. They won't let it go. They don't let things slide. Don't fuck with those NXIVM people. Our attorneys are already saying that. They're like, man, you guys will scorch the earth.
You're a truth buster.
Yeah. I tell the story occasionally to the lawyers about how we went out on a walk and you were like, I'm taking a sit, like doing like belts, like martial arts, but instead of judo sashes. And I was like, Keith, you can't do that. That's so queer. But like that, I remember that very specifically. You were like, something like a judo belt, but not a belt. Something else.
Someone has to be recognizable from across the room. So
Yeah.
She seemed very close to Keith Raniere as well. But then she suddenly just disappeared.
In the years leading up to my leaving, I went through a period of time where I wasn't telling Keith or anyone that I was suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just taking it in. In part, I was like evaluating.
anywhere in your body that there's a sensation that you try to ignore or try to suppress, it just gets stronger and stronger. And perhaps there are areas in your body you haven't noticed before. Like certainly you've noticed your stomach at times. And maybe the sensation in your stomach now is changing, but not going away, maybe intensifying. Maybe not, but probably intensifying. It may even be becoming less comfortable, but that's okay.
I guess you're not going to let me finish my report.
No, you're almost done.
I'm trying to read.
Yeah, that's okay. You can finish your report now.
Can you stop?
I can stop, and you want to know what else? I will stop.
Great.
Sort of.
I had been pretending everything was great and everything was fine, but he was starting to catch on. And that was it.
Right.
I was like, you know what? I gotta just fucking blow out of here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't ever go back there.
Mm-hmm.
I decided it was time to leave the moment that I realized that Keith was a psychopath. And it was undeniable. I was certain of it. Because I think he was absolutely, deliberately trying to destroy people. I was very determined at a young age to understand spirituality, and I always thought that would be walking with God. I never thought that that might entail walking with the devil.
Kristin knew a lot. She knew of a lot of illegal activity.
I found paperwork, and I didn't want to work there anymore because I thought this is totally unethical. This is fraud. We can't do this. They're embezzling money. The taxes aren't being paid. And so I talked to the FBI, and they were like, well, what else do you have? So I looked through everything, and then I started connecting the dots. And I went to Homeland Security with the information, and they already knew, and they said, back off, or you're going to get killed.
NXIVM insider Kristin Keefe is one of the many women NXIVM leader Keith Raniere impregnated. Unlike allegedly dozens of others, she was not forced to have an abortion.
She left Raniere and fled with her son, Keith's son, when he was 7 years old. Raniere kept Kristin Keefe so skinny and on such a restricted diet that nobody knew she was pregnant, including Kristin herself, until she was 8 months pregnant and unable to have an abortion.
ultimately, when she saw her opening, she just went for it.
I left my house with nothing but my pocketbook. And I took a taxi to the police station. And while I was at the police station, the NXIVM attorneys found out, and the NXIVM attorneys called there and said, "We know she's there." And I said, "That's it, I can never go back." I knew they would put millions of dollars into finding me, grabbing me, doing whatever they could to take my son. I knew that when I walked into that police station, in Keith's mind, that was nuclear war. No one had ever done anything like that to him before. I knew I was being hunted like an animal.
Who'd you talk to? Who'd you go to? Who'd you confide in?
You know, initially, no one. Everyone was against me. All the people that were against NXIVM were against me, and all the people that were in NXIVM or that knew about my departure were against me. And here I was coming with all this evidence and information and saying, all right, and no one would help me.
Do you think Keith Raniere was going to kill you?
No, he was going to kidnap me.